Hey folks, how are you guys doing? All good? Please be very welcome to the Arsenicus channel. And finally, finally, in today's episode, I'm gonna start properly the playlist called "The Life of the Single Man." If you have followed some previous episodes, I had told that I have the intention of creating 3 different playlists regarding the life of the father, the life of the single man, and the life of the married man. I started to talk a little bit about the married man, or the man who wants to get married. And yeah, this one will be regarding being single. For a matter of fact, I decided to create this episode because, you see, I've been for a couple of years now inside of the manosphere, and there is a lot of questions, I guess, about what to do in life. A lot of people who are upset and people who are maybe desiring to have something or to be in a certain condition, but he maybe does not know if it is suitable for him or not. Or even worse, maybe he doesn't know if he says he wants is actually what he wants or what other people want for him. So it is important to mention that I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I'm here to raise some questions and give my point of view about certain things. And I believe that I want to believe that you are smart enough to ask those questions yourself, and even more other questions, and to take your own conclusions and to follow what can be good for you. Alright? Let's go. I've prepared a couple of phrases and topics here, so I'm gonna just say a couple of them and we can discuss about it. Not discuss about it because I'm here alone, but I'm gonna just present what I had prepared. Right. Now, before I start, I want to thank you for being here and for giving me the chance to pay you a company for a couple of minutes. And I hope that this episode can add something to your life. Respect. This is very important because we are different people with different points of view, different lives, different stories, different goals in life. And you see, there are a couple of things that may be good for you, but may not be good for the other. I believe that there are a couple of things that are absolute and that they are, per definition, good for everyone, such as loving, respecting, following the words of Jesus. But even those things cannot be obliged to everyone. If I understand that this is the right way to live, I cannot impose other people to do so, because it has to be a free will thing. If someone does not want to follow it, my function here is to respect and love the person. So, if you are around people, even in an online environment, who thinks different from you, please try to respect him. There are enough people who disrespect us just by the fact that we are men, and we don't need to have this kind of trash thoughts here. By trash, I'm not talking about people. I believe that everyone has good and bad things inside, but trash, I mean behavior. I can have good behavior, but I can also have a trash and bad behavior. And I'm trying to choose, and I don't want to be hypocrite here, but I'm trying to choose in this sense, to have a good behavior and to respect the ones who think different of me. Alright? Okay, now I can properly start. Some of us don't want to get married. Is this your case? If so, what's your motivation? You see, for someone to take such a decision, I think that there are a couple of things that must be considered. And that's what I want to do at this moment with you guys. Some of the key points that I wrote down are the following, or the key points that I wrote down are the following. Self-love as base. What's your motivation? Sexuality. Friendships or partnerships. Reproduction. Spirituality. Finances. And individuality. Those are the topics that I consider to be the most important, or some of the most important in this context. And today I'm gonna start talking about the self-love and motivation. Crucial question. Do you know who you are? I mean, without the company of other people, without the control of your parents or your sponsors. Do you know what you like? Do you know what you don't like? Do you know what makes you happy? What makes you unhappy? Regardless of the people around you. Have you ever lived alone, for example? Do you know what it is? It is very important. There are some people who want to take such a decision, but they never had an experience of being completely alone. You see, it can be good, but it can be pretty bad. I'm just thinking of one of those persons who passed through our lives and probably you'll never see her again. Many years ago, I had the contact with this lady when I was still studying, and I remember she told that she was living alone. She was probably 19 years old. She went to the university and she had the chance to live by herself. And as far as I remember, she was saying that it was being bad for her mentally, for her mental condition. I don't remember the whole conversation, but I remember that she was not happy with the decision of being alone. In my case, for example, I had the chance already to be alone, to live by myself for quite some time. I can say that the experience was not bad, but that was not for me. That was my conclusion. So I think that it is important for you to know better about yourself before taking such decision. Another thing is regarding the emotional condition. There are a lot of people out there who actually want to get married, but because of how can I say, frustration, because of a frustrating situation with someone, the person developed a hurt feelings for the person. And here's the thing, there are a couple of men who actually want to get married even though they say the opposite. And what makes me think of that, because they spend the whole day on the internet. Some people spend the whole day on the internet criticizing women, trying to make the life of women difficult with some hate speech and things like that. What I personally think, and I don't want to be disrespectful here, but is men who have such behavior are actually married, and even deeper, they are married with multiple women. Why is that? Because they spend big part of the day, of their time with women. I think a good way to be a single person is being a single person, is doing things that a single person does. For example, taking care of his own life, trying to develop himself, giving a contribution to the society, but at your own pace, and trying to bring something good, but being motivated by hate and no. I think that there is a psychological effect. You keep saying that you don't want something, but you say so much that in the end we start raising questions. Is that really what you want? So my point here is, if you want to be a single, don't arrest people in your heart. Free them, forgive, and try to live your own life. That's the best you can do. Have you ever want to be married, or that was never something for you? This is regarding what the society imposes to us. The norm until a couple of years ago, as far as I know, is that some of us, even we don't want to get married, we were sort of forced to, because everybody around us keep saying so and keep criticizing us if you don't want to get married. But what's funny is that nowadays, depending on which group you are inserted in, for example, some groups inside of the manosphere who don't want to be married, if you start raising questions about it, and if you start deciding that you want to get married, there is a chance that you may be criticized. So, your decision, it is yours or it is from someone else? What you're deciding to do, what's your motivation? That's also very important. Do you know what to expect? I made this question before the other ones, but it says for itself. What's your I was going to ask something here, but to be very honest, I think it is pretty much the most of the things that I had in mind to ask for. And I don't really like to keep giving advice to people. But if I can give one advice, the advice would be think. You see, we have different types of decisions to make along our lives. Some decisions are actually simple. They can be easily reversed. Sometimes we need to decide between the color of a shirt. And if you are sort of economic like me, and if you buy something you don't like, there is a chance you stick with this cloth for such a while. Or you won't dare to simply buy another one, depending on the price. But you see, it is a simple decision. What I'm gonna eat today? Oh, my decision was not good. This food is not really tasty. We're talking about one day. That's fine. On the other day, you can simply change. But being married is a decision that even though you want to change in the future, there will be consequences. Some people carry the consequences of a divorce for years long. Sometimes there are kids involved, and the kids can also carry such consequences. And you don't want to hurt people. I mean, that's the basic of a normal mental health. Sometimes our decisions may affect other people, it can happen, but you don't want to freely hurt other people for just for the sake of hurting. But it can happen. So, being single also has consequences, but there is at least the facility of the decision to be changed. Of course, if you found someone that you consider to be the one, and if you let the person go, and after that she finds someone else and she gets married, you lost the chance. But still, you may never find someone like her again, but you can eventually find someone better than her. It can happen. I don't really believe that there is the right one for everybody. I don't know. But still, you can change. So my advice, again, is try to think about what you want to do. Please don't allow other people to take such decision for you, because what you're gonna do with your life will affect primarily your life. That's why I, for example, don't want to keep telling people, oh, get married, oh, don't get married, oh, come live in Europe, or stay in Brazil, because each one should know what's better. I hope I could be clear in my saying, and I deeply hope that you may be able to think about those things. If you want to make any comments, if you agree, if you disagree, if you want to add something, please feel free feel free to do so in the comments, and I hope to see you guys back soon. Alright? Thank you, and have a good one. Cheers.